Welcome to another Carriage Works roundup. So we've started 2023 with our running into 2023. So the first job is to finish service car 125. They got as far as getting the basic paintwork painted, and it's just receiving the final coat of varnish now. We've also had to do some work to this one on the inside because we've been having problems with the fridges overheating in the summer, and that's quite an issue because we like selling ice cream and things like that, so it doesn't really help if we have that. So what we've done is we've taken out a plinth that the fridges were stood on to gain some more ventilation around the fridges, and we're hoping that will solve the problem because none of the other carriages suffer with this problem, it's just this one. Hopefully this will be finished, what, in a week? Yeah, about a week, so then we'll bring in Gwivrai after this one. The space we've created by taking out the plinth under here, and it's given a bit of space here to help draw the air out along with the fans in here. We've just got the doors to put back on, and then that's this done in here. We're on the other side of 125 right now. This one had the battery inverters fitted a few years ago, which meant that the louvers that we'd got on it were redundant. We put some plastic sheeting on the inside to stop water going in. While it's been in this time, we've decided to take all the louvers out, barring the bottom ones, to get the heat out from the water heater in there. And we've put panels, and we're going to put blackened glass here, mainly because it's really difficult to keep the louvers clean, and it's a lot of work to paint them as well, so it's better to do this now while we've got the chance. And that's what we've decided to do. These are cylinder cover cladding from locomotive Pixie. If those that don't know, Pixie used to be owned by Teddy Boston at Cadby. Cadby was he was very into collecting railway stuff. He helped preserve stuff. The locomotive's now owned by Richmond Light Railway. It lives there, but it's being restored here at Boston Lodge. We've started painting some of the parts. Said these are the cladding sheets for the cylinder covers. We've also got the lining, potential lining that's going to go onto it. There's still a bit of discussion about the yellow line, but that's largely what will go onto the cylinder covers there, and then we'll do the same to the tank, the saddle tank, and the cab parts when they're ready to come into the paint shop. Right, I mentioned in the paint shop about Pixie. Here is Pixie's frame and all the parts for Pixie, so we've got the motion and everything. A ready set of parts to be bolted back together. They've already been together in the erecting shop, and we've obviously had it in the paint shop at the back end of last year, and you can see where the cladding sheet would go, and yeah, it's going into the erecting shop any day now. This carriage 117, we've brought this one in for what is largely just a revarnish, although when we say revarnish, what we tend to do is we put a coat or two of cream gloss onto the cream areas because they never come back up to what we'd like. Before varnishing the lower half. However, this one has needed some gutter repairs, so we've done a few bits to the gutter and some touch-ups around the doorways, so they've had a fresh coat of red on them. But the main bodywork will just be varnished. Although it doesn't look like it, with how matte it is at the moment, it will come back up to almost new kind of condition once it's varnished. This will be probably 2 weeks, and then this will roll out, and we'll replace it with another carriage, probably 118 actually. Just before Christmas we finished 119, sister carriage to this one, as they generally run as a pair. And again, it had very similar treatment, a little bit of work to the gutters, the same work as what's gone on to this. We've also removed all the partition screens from any carriages that have come through so far this winter. And this one's had them already taken out, and we've also varnished the tables, give them a freshen up and bring them back up to what we like them to be. Right, so we're in the nice new big storage shed, the big carriage shed. I'm stood next to 119, which I mentioned earlier. This literally only came out the paint shop earlier this week and has come into here for storage till the spring. But as you can see, the shed's big, it's nice and it's great. Hopefully it should reduce the amount of paint work that we have to do, because carriages will be undercover every night, and particularly in the winter we can get everything undercover now. Right, I'm stood in front of the North Wales narrow gauge railway brake carriage, that replica that we're having built. Built by volunteers. They're here every Tuesday, and they also do roughly a once a month working party where there's a few more of them. As you can see, it's largely complete with the panel work. There's doors obviously still to make. The roof's got to be painted, lots and lots of painting, so if there's any volunteers that want to come and do that, please do. As I said, they meet once a month, and it would be great to see more people coming and helping with it, and for that matter any of the other carriages. Right, we've got a contract to build 3 Talathlin carriages. 2 of them have got disabled area, first class and standard third class area. One of them is all third class through. I'm stood in the first of these carriages that we'll be delivering later this year, and this is the first class area. So we're basing it along the lines of some of our vintage first class carriages, but we've got more modern twists to it. So we're adding in some of these CNC inlaid features into the carriage. It's also having a dropping partition similar to what we installed in the Raven glass carriage that we delivered last year, so they can join the 2 compartments to make a bigger compartment for bigger parties. We've got this kind of nice stylized armrest in here, and a few other details, and the doors and things will have buttoned padding on them, so it'll be quite a nice feeling carriage, a bit of a step up from what they've got at the moment. So we've got a nice new toy. This is a new to us CNC machine, and one of its first jobs has been to make these. They're not angels, as one of the staff members suggested, if we chop off the top. They're bits to go on fascia boards for Station House at Minforth, but it's a perfect job for a CNC because it can cut them out in about an hour and a half, and lot quicker, a lot cheaper than using one of us. But it's taken a bit of time for us to set it up. We've had to learn software and actually set the machine up and get it to operate correctly. But hopefully we'll be making good use of it in the future. We can make seats with it, we can do numerous other jobs. There's all the inlay stuff for the Talathlin carriages that we'll be doing with it, so it's a lot of stuff we can do with it. So as you can see, this is the software we use for the drawing, and you can see I've drawn the angels and it also shows the tracking path that the machine will take to do the work and the start points and things. Once you've done that, you've got to save it as the right file format, and then you can upload it into the jobs section here, and as you can see I've got Station House, initial pass Station House cutting, and it will do the controlling, and we've got obviously the 3 axes that the machine works from. But as I said, it's taken time. You have to zero where the timber sits on the bed and things like that, but we've learnt all that now. So we've come outside to where we clean the carriages prior to them entering the carriage works, and F&WHR is the next one into the workshop, 2152 to those that don't know it. It's done 3 seasons now, and it's starting to look a bit tired, so it's time to give it a coat of varnish and bring it back up to a higher standard. It has suffered a little bit of damage up at the upper level here because there was a branch sticking out last year during the last season. It was catching just enough, not enough to be an issue for most stuff, but enough to catch the paintwork on most of the vehicles. So we just got to do a few repairs to the beading up there, and then the varnish will take away all the scratch marks. We'll also remove the screens from this one, as we will from all the main corridor stock this winter, so that next season we go into the season with no partitions in the main carriage fleets. The only ones that will be keeping those will be the vintage carriages, and those screens they're standing up quite well. After this, we've also got 118, which is, if you follow me, 118, as you can see, is looking quite tired compared to 103 there. Mind the noisy diesel. That one was also going to come in probably not long after this one's come in, and that also received the same treatment as 117 and 119 have had. So we're still in the big carriage shed, and although it's a storage shed, we have to do some of the maintenance work in here. This one, 26, while Chris had it in the works for doing the bogies, he spotted that the running boards were starting to perish at a few of the points, and it's something we wouldn't spot from under, because you've got to look up from underneath. So what we've had to do is replace parts of them. As you can see, there's a new piece here. I think there's a new piece down that end. Now Lee's got this lot fitted, he's given it a couple of coats of anti-slip paint, and that'll see this job done. But we've got other vehicles that need this kind of work in this shed. So carriage 17, for example, not this one, but has got rotten running board that we need to deal with as well. And we'll be looking at things like this, the clips on the corridor connections. Some of them have gone rusty, so we need to deal with changing those. Again, that's why this shed is so useful. It means that we can get at almost all the vehicles and look at that kind of maintenance. Late last year, well, not late last year, probably early autumn, we finished 101 mostly. The volunteers have got most of the work done. We had a volunteer from Italy for 2 weeks who was a massive help. Got all the seats and the tables back into this one, and we got the new doors finished. The only job we've got outstanding on this now is the brass tread plates, and they've arrived. We just need to finish polishing them and cut them to fit. And we've done a lot of stuff, so we've for the doors we've made another one of these to match 102. And of course, if you remember, this carriage had double doors here originally for the wheelchairs to go in, and just a single door here, but with its rebuild we've rebuilt this whole section to match 102, and to remove the doors from the passenger area, so there's less locks to look after and less risk of the doors coming open. But those doors were extremely rotten anyway, being softwood, so we'd have had to have made new ones either way. But it's now almost ready for traffic. As I said, we've built cupboards and recycled stuff where we can, and I'd like to thank the volunteers that put all their effort into this, because without them this carriage probably wouldn't have gone back into traffic. We'd have probably ended up sitting in a siding and not being used for many years and finally being scrapped. So thank you.